Hey everybody, this is Shepherd's Honor here. Today I'm going to be doing a little home studio tour because I've made a lot of upgrades recently and it looks a lot better than the home studio tour that I posted on Instagram. So, without any further ado, here's what I've got. So here is what I am working with now. As you can see, it's pretty much better in every way. The monitor is actually on a table instead of on a dresser. The keyboard is on the same table as the monitor instead of being on a ottoman next to the table which holds the box that I put the microphone on top of. Instead, I just have a microphone on a boom arm with a shock mount and a real pop filter instead of an embroidery hoop that I stretched pantyhose over. That is what I used to use, but I made it work. So let me just take you step by step into all the little details and intricacies of this so you can see what makes this thing tick. So I figured the most reasonable place to start would probably be with the thing that makes the entire setup work, which is the computer. As you can see, it's HP with like a, Intel Core i5 9th gen. I don't really know what that means because I don't know anything about computers. I just know that it makes things work and it goes brrr because it has a fan inside of it. That's pretty much it. It has some ports on it. It turns on as a disk drive that I've never used, and it gets the job done. So, next thing. I figured that the next thing that I ought to cover would be my monitors, because without them I would have no way to see what I was doing at all. This one is my main monitor. It actually used to be my TV, and for a time it doubled as my main monitor and my TV until I got another TV, which is good because it's very hard to read the subtitles of anime on a TV this small. And then the secondary monitor that I have, which is very helpful, was a gift from my friend Red234. He also has a YouTube channel. If you like watching people analyze anime, movies, TV shows, that sort of thing, and you don't mind a little bit of profanity, well, actually a pretty substantial amount of profanity, then you should check out his channel because it's really cool. That's pretty much it for the monitors. This one is very helpful for things like this. These are some guitar effects that I have loaded up, some distortion, an amp, virtual amp. That's pretty much all I got here, actually. And, just putting little extra things on the side. If I need to Google something while I'm doing something on this one, it's very helpful. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So, next thing. Little extra thing, too. I have these LEDs behind the monitor, which I can change the color of, as you can see. There's red, green, various colors. It's plugged into the computer, so they only work when the computer is turned on. They're pretty cool. Add a nice vibe to the whole thing. I like blue better though. So there you go with that. Alright, so the next very important part of my whole home studio setup is my audio interface, which in this case is the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. I believe it is the 3rd generation model. This is what allows me to record audio into my computer. This is the microphone input. This is the instrument input. So this is what I would record like guitar or bass into. I'm sure you can record other instruments, but that's mainly what I use it for. So let's look at everything on here from right to left, I think is probably the better direction to go in. First, you have a headphone jack. As you can see, it is very big because this is a 1/4 inch input. So you can't plug regular old headphones into this without an adapter. As you can see, I have an adapter here because these are regular headphones. Plug them in to this big old gold thing, and that plugs into here, and then it works fine. You hit direct monitor, and that allows you to hear whatever you're recording at the instant that you're recording it, which is good because a lot of times when you're recording, if you play it back through the audio program that you're recording it in, there's going to be a slight delay, which makes it very hard to record things on time when you're hearing it back a split second later than you're recording it, or in some cases much more than a split second. Here we have the volume for the audio that goes through the headphones. It controls both the direct monitor and, of course, just the regular audio from the PC that comes through these headphones if you don't have direct monitor turned on. That's pretty much all there is to that. And here, of course, we have the instrument input, as I already stated, with its gain knob. This is basically the audio level that it records at. So if you set this too high and it's too loud, it's going to clip and it's going to sound really bad. So make sure you set that at a regular level. There's also this button that is labeled INST, I assume standing for instrument. I don't actually know what it does. It records even when you don't have that pressed, but I'm sure it does something. Here we have the microphone. As you can see, sometimes as I speak, especially now when I get closer to the microphone, a little light comes on around it. The instrument input actually also does this, but since I'm not recording an instrument through this, you can't see it. Now, the nice thing about this is that if you turn it up too loud, it'll actually show you if you have it too loud, because it's turning red, as you can see. I believe it turns yellow, more yellowish, if it's a little too loud, but not like way too loud. I think you can see some of that there. Now, the way this works is, you see you have this thing that says 48V, which is 48 volts of phantom power, which is what powers the microphone. You gotta have that turned on for the microphone to work. Now, what I've discovered is that you wanna have everything turned all the way down before you turn this on. I thought it was just the mic input, and maybe that is all you're supposed to have turned all the way down, but I tried turning this off or on or something. I tried hitting this button while this was still turned up, and the audio ended up really distorted. So that is not something that I'm gonna try again. I don't know, maybe it was something else, but I just kind of unplugged the thing from the computer and plugged it back in, and it started working fine. There's also this little button that says air, which, as I understand, just kind of makes the sound a little less bassy, a little less boomy, makes it sound more light and airy, as, you know, per the name, air. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I haven't used that button yet, but, you know, I might at some point. And of course, you do also have these outputs on the back to go to studio monitors, if you want to use those. This, of course, volume knob will control those if you have those plugged in as opposed to headphones. But I don't have studio monitors, so it's headphones. And of course, just there's a USB cable that I have the instrument cable on top of, but you can just sort of see it, and that's what plugs into the computer. That's all there is to that. So, moving on to the next thing. I realized that I have yet to go in depth into my microphone, which, as you can see, is the Tascam TM81. I've only used it a little bit because I got it only very recently, but I do really like it. It sounds good. It looks nice. It's pretty solid. It comes with a little shock mount, which is to make it make less noise if you bump into it some. I think it works pretty well. It still does make some noise when you bump into it, but that's all right, because I'm not planning on bumping into it when I'm recording something. Now, you may have noticed that in my older videos, I had a different microphone. And that microphone, I have it right over here, is the Blue Snowball Ice, I believe it is. Blue Snowball Ice, yeah. This is a USB microphone, just a regular old USB. I can't remember what this is, USB 2 or something like that. Point is, I don't need the audio interface for this. But I got the audio interface. This is a higher quality microphone, and also this literally, the Blue Snowball Ice literally cannot be used with the audio interface. I have to like switch to the drivers. I gotta do some annoying things to make this work. They do not work simultaneously, so I needed a new microphone. I got this one. It's pretty solid. It sounds, I think, a fair bit better. You can see I have a pop filter here, which just makes it so that all the noises, you know, when you like make very breathy noises, it doesn't just blow into the microphone and sound awful. And of course, I have a microphone arm, which is just, that's all it is. Just, that's what I put the microphone on. And that's pretty much it for that. Just kind of got it clipped onto the table. If you can see how this works here, there's a little thing here that I screw in using this. I turn this, and that makes that clamp to the table. And that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, and also, you probably noticed by now, but this is the same TV dinner table that I used to have everything important on, pretty much, aside from the keyboard and mouse, which were on an ottoman beside me. Oh yeah, and also Darth Vader, because gotta have Darth Vader. Alright, so the next thing to talk about is the stuff that I listen to the music through. Here are the actual headphones I use. They're actually they're like $20 Walmart headphones. They're not super high quality, but they get the job done for now. I probably should get some higher quality ones, but these are going to have to suffice because I am not a rich man. Put those back. As you can see, this is like an outdoor like table to eat on, and it has like a little, like, I think this is like to carry the thing. This is like a handle to carry it, but I just put the microphone on there. And then I have these two speakers and a subwoofer down here. Please don't say anything about my awful wire management. These sound pretty solid. I like them quite a bit. They are not studio monitors, but they work fairly well, although I can't use them that often because it disturbs the other people in the house when I do use them. Here's a little volume knob for them. And this is my keyboard. It actually plays sounds on its own. It has quite a wide array, actually. Let's turn it way down here. Piano. You can set it to like drums, I think, you know, like gotta hit the numbers over here. And you see it tells you what the numbers will get you to. So that's drum set. So like, so that's neat. And then, you know, you can set it to all kinds of stuff. You can set it to like guitars, although I play guitar, so I don't really need that, but yeah. And, well, what is there? There's organs. I feel like I'm in church or in Phantom of the Opera. And bass. It doesn't really sound like a bass that high up, but yeah. It's acoustic bass. And a lot of other stuff. You can get synths, so you can go all 80s. Doesn't sound that 80s. Actually, wait, this will probably sound more 80s. Wait. It's a little better, but you get the point. There's a lot of sounds, but I don't use any of them because I just use it as a MIDI keyboard. You see, what I do is I plug it in to the computer through this cable. This cable runs all the way down and across to the computer, goes into the back right here, I believe is the cable that is plugged into it. Point is, I can use this in addition to having its own sounds, which is nice if I want to like practice chords or whatever, you know. You know, it has the sounds on its own, but you can also plug it in to the computer and you can control like virtual instruments inside of the computer, which is the main thing I use it for. It's much more convenient than like trying to position a microphone above these speakers. That doesn't sound that very good. And you may notice these keys are audible. You can hear the keys clicky clacking when you're trying to play, so I don't want that. And plus, most of the sounds, the virtual instrument sounds sound better. And you have more freedom to edit them because they're within the program. So that's pretty much all I use it for in terms of recording. Though I do use the sounds within it to practice. And there you have it with that. I like this thing a lot. Oh, also has a pedal, which the pedal, when you hit the pedal, it makes, you see, once I take my finger off of it, it, you know, stops ringing out. But if I press the pedal, I'm pressing the pedal now, it keeps ringing out. And that's it. I'm explaining a lot of things that anyone who does music would already know, but I'm just kind of assuming you don't know anything about music, so sorry if you do and you already know what the pedal of a piano would do. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, also it does drum sounds on its own, drum beats. Yeah. Jamming. New development, it has songs in it on its own. I hit this by accident, didn't know that. That's cool. I should show is my instruments. So here is my acoustic guitar. This is the main one you see in a lot of my videos. It is the Yamaha FX325A. So there that is. That is the model number, I guess, if you want to get the exact same guitar as me. It is an acoustic electric, so as you can see, if you go down here, this is where you plug it into. You plug a cable in here and it'll come through an amp. And you have a tuner, which you play a note on this side. If you see an arrow on this side, it means it's a little sharp. If you see an arrow on this side, on the other side here, it means it's a little flat. Oh, there. Now it says it's a little flat, even though it said it was a little sharp a second ago. That's all there is to that. You can barely read that. It says volume here, so this is the volume that the sound comes through, the electric part, the amp, and tone, which just kind of makes it sound a little more full and musical as opposed to just kind of, you know, lame and weak sounding, pretty much. Turn that up, sounds better. It's pretty much all there is to that. It's a very nice acoustic guitar. Yeah. So over to my electric and my bass. Then, of course, we have the electric guitar and the bass. Now, the electric guitar, it looks quite a bit like a Fender Stratocaster guitar. Looks, I guess, pretty much exactly like one. But it is, in fact, a BC guitar. But I am quite happy with it. It does everything that I want it to do. It sounds quite good, in my opinion. It has 3 pickups. These are what the sound is picked up from and then sent out through the cable into the amp. This little switch selects which of these 3 pickups you're using. Like when it's all the way down here, to my understanding, anyway, the sound is just coming through this one. when it's kind of halfway in between the middle and the bottom, it's coming through both the middle one and the bottom one. And when it's in the middle, it's coming through the middle one, and then it goes up to the top the same way. It has a volume knob, which is a volume knob, pretty much. And then, yeah, there's not a whole lot to the volume knob. And then the tone does pretty much the same thing that I described the tone on the on the acoustic guitar doing. I'm sure there is a much better, more technical explanation as to what it does, but I don't have it because I'm not big into the technical aspects of guitars. I just play them. So that's pretty much it for the electric. Onto the bass. Now, the bass is bass. There's not a whole lot to it. It's got these two pickups here that the sound comes through. There's not a pickup selection thing. It just uses these two. And, this one's the volume one. I'm not even sure what this one is. It's tone, I think, maybe? I don't know. I just kind of keep it to one side. Sometimes when I turn it one way, it'll have a lot of noise and crackly, so I just keep it on the setting that doesn't do that. Here's where the sound comes through, the cable, it's pretty much it. Then the neck and the top of it, the head stock of the bass, and that's pretty much it. Also, you may have noticed that the tuner that I'm using on the electric is the same brand as the bass, because it's the tuner that came with the bass. So that is it for the electric and the bass guitars. I don't have much in the way of amps. I have one very cheap, tiny practice amp behind this one. I'm not even going to bother pulling that one out. And then this bass amp. It has a lot of noise, doesn't sound great. It's the one that came with the bass, but it serves okay. If I was actually going to start doing more live performances, I would probably want to get another one, but yeah, it has been good for practicing on, so it's pretty solid for that. This is a binder. I put things in here when I need to read music, and that's it. So many cables. This is various accessories, like a cleaning cloth. You can kind of see I have a spare capo in here. I have a slide that I never use, some picks, spare strings, that kind of stuff. I have a string winder in here too, and then cables, instrument cable, spare XLR cable, XLR 2/4 inch cable. This is the USB cable that I plugged the blue snowball into. There's a foot tambourine in here. Yeah, I bought this thing along with the cajon. You put this on your foot, you tap your foot, and it jingle jangles. So that's pretty neat. Don't use that a whole lot, but it's pretty cool. This is another guitar cable, instrument cable. Out of the way. These are extenders. You use these between guitar pedals because you have to plug two cables into guitar pedals. One going through as the input, the guitar going into the cable or into the pedal, and then another cable going out of the pedal into the amp. And if you have more than one pedal at once, then you have to have little connectors connecting all of the pedals. And this is what I use for that. Even though I only have two pedals, I don't really need this many, but it's good to have because I might get more. Here's another cleaning cloth. Where did I get this from? I have no idea. Austin Bazaar. It probably came with something, I'm sure. It's nice to have those though. Strap locks, which I never used. I probably should though. These are basically so the strap doesn't fall off, because it's really not enough to just put the strap on the guitar because it can slip off. So the way these work is you screw a thing in, and then I can't even remember how it works. You have to screw something in to make it work, and then you put the lock on over top of the thing that you screwed in. It's complicated, and that's why I haven't used them yet, but I really probably should. And spare bass strings, you could probably already tell that though. Oh, there's another instrument cable, didn't even realize that one. Yeah, this one's kind of messed up. Got duct tape on it. This, which is another little thing to connect pedals with. This came with my distortion pedal, which I guess I'll show you in a minute. And then this thing. You know what? Someone comment or message if they have any idea what this is, because I don't know. I bought a bag of kind of random guitar accessories. This was in it, but I have no idea what it is, and the bag didn't say what it is. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe it's obvious what it is. I mean, it's some kind of keychain thing, I guess. But yes, please, someone inform me. And then you put these around cables to keep them secured and wrapped around, and so they don't come loose. And that's it for that. and there's like paper in here for some reason. And then this is like, this isn't even music related. This like goes onto a set of wireless earbuds, I think. Yeah. So that's it for this. What a mess. Yikes. Inside the box as well, spare pop filter. This is the stand that I originally used the blue snowball on before I got a microphone stand to actually put it on. There's a little like spare thing that you like put the microphone in through here, and you just put it on a microphone stand, screw it on here, and then like instructions of this that I didn't throw away. And then this, I think this is like if your microphone just barely doesn't fit, is like just barely a little bit too big for the stand that you're trying to screw it onto. You put this tape on there, and then like it adds that extra, adds that extra little bit of size to the stand, to the thing that you're trying to screw it into. I am not able to describe this. Here, like this, you see, you screw the microphone onto this. If this is a little bit too small, you put the tape around it, and it makes this a little bit bigger. And that's how that works. That's pretty much everything in here. Good Lord, this is such a mess. Look at all this crap all over the place. This is how much stuff I have. Oh boy, and there's more. Music stand. It is music stand. You put music on it and you can read it, and it has little arms here that you can see, and this holds the pages down so they don't flap in the wind or whatever, and that's helpful. And that's that for that. Here is my other microphone stand. You screw the clip that you have the microphone in, or potentially just the microphone itself, onto this little screw here. You can make it taller or shorter, depending on your needs. And it has little legs, so it can stand on the ground. It is very helpful for when you don't have a table to attach the other microphone stand that I have to. And that's pretty much it for that. Oh yeah, and in case you were wondering where any of this stuff is, this is gaming stuff. This has nothing to do with music. It's just here because I don't have anywhere else to put it. Got this flute that I've never used. This I got in from the zoo when I was 8. But it's like a music thing, so I just keep it over here. I guess I could use it, but I can't play the flute, so if I was ever going to add flute in any of my songs, it would probably be MIDI. But yeah, that's it. Also, there's this Bluetooth speaker. This isn't exactly music equipment so much as if I'm in the bath, I play music through this, so I don't bring my phone into the bath and ruin my phone with water. But it is also good because I can test how my music sounds on a really cheap, not great speaker, and that's nice. So it actually does help as music equipment as well, because you do want to hear what your music sounds like on a variety of different speakers. So yeah, there that is. Here's that looper pedal I was talking about. Plug the guitar in here. Sound goes out through here. Hit this, it records. Hit it again, plays it back. Hit it twice, it pauses. Hit it twice and hold it. It deletes. That's it. Oh, and also it has power that you have to plug it in for it to work. So that is pretty much everything. As you can see, I've been recording for a pretty good amount of time because the monitors shut themselves off, and now you get to see what they look like when they're not on, for what that's worth. Otherwise known as I don't feel like turning them back on. Also, there's some moving blanket on the wall that I didn't mention that helps to deaden any echoes that might happen, because you don't really want those when you're recording music. There's carpet on the floor and curtains, on the windows, and a bunch of posters that helps deaden the sound too. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna have to edit all of this down now. This video, I feel like, ended up being a lot longer than I was initially intending, which I'm happy about because it's more content. If you watched it all the way through, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and this is Shepherd's Honor out. Have a good one.